The levels of healing after a narcissist for the empath. When you sit with enough people long enough, patterns stop being opinions and start becoming observable stages. And one thing has become undeniable. Healing after a narcissist does not happen all at once. It does not happen randomly. It happens in levels. Levels of awareness. Levels of emotional regulation. Levels of identity reconstruction. Levels of nervous system safety. These levels are not moral judgments. They are not measures of intelligence or strength. They are developmental stages that almost every empath passes through in some form. From what I've seen, there are really 5 levels an empath moves through after a narcissist. Some people move quickly. Some people linger. Some people move forward and then slide backward. That's normal. Healing is not linear, but the levels themselves show up with striking consistency. We begin at level 0. Level 0 is the regular empath. This is the empath who is still inside the relationship. They are either being love-bombed or devalued, but they don't have language for it yet. They don't understand manipulation. They don't understand coercive control. They don't understand emotional abuse. If you ask them what narcissism was, they would likely say it's someone who loves themselves too much, or someone who looks in the mirror all day. At level 0, the empath senses that something is wrong, but they interpret those signals as normal relationship problems, communication issues, stress, trauma wounds, misunderstandings. They believe in talking things out. They believe in compromise. They believe if they explain better, love harder, show more patience or sacrifice more, the relationship can be repaired. This empath is loyal. This empath is sincere. This empath is deeply invested. They are tired, but still hopeful. They are operating in good faith with someone who is not operating in good faith at all. At level 0, the empath does not understand that the relationship is not malfunctioning. It is functioning exactly as designed. They are trying to fix something that does not want to be fixed, because the imbalance itself is the point. Then comes level 1. Level 1 usually begins during devaluation and stretches through the discard and the immediate aftermath. At level 1, the empath may still not know the word narcissism, but they know something catastrophic has happened. The emotional ground collapses beneath them. The rules suddenly change. Affection becomes inconsistent. Blame appears out of nowhere. The empath replays conversations over and over, trying to locate the moment where everything shifted. At level 1, confusion dominates. Not heartbreak yet. Confusion. The empath is disoriented. They cannot reconcile the person they knew with the behavior they are now witnessing. They are still caught inside the narcissist's reality distortion. This is the stage where hoovering often happens. This is where smear campaigns escalate. This is where triangulation becomes obvious. This is where the narcissist often extracts enormous amounts of supply, especially if a new supply has already entered the picture. A level 1 empath reacts emotionally because they do not yet know how not to. They are still chasing answers. They are still hoping for clarity. They still believe there must be an explanation that will make it all make sense. Many level 1 empaths haven't even cried yet. They are still stunned, still trying to orient themselves after the emotional whiplash. Then awareness begins to crack through. That is level 2. Level 2 is where the empath finally encounters the word narcissism. This is where research begins in earnest. Videos, articles, podcasts, late-night scrolling comment sections, hearing strangers describe experiences that feel disturbingly familiar. At level 2, the empath begins to understand that what happened was not random. And this is where pain deepens. Sadness sets in heavily at level 2. This is where crying becomes frequent. This is where social media monitoring becomes compulsive. This is where rumination takes over the mind. The nervous system is overwhelmed, and the brain is desperate to find meaning, coherence, and safety. This is the beginning of the dark night of the soul. Long stretches of quiet, isolation, intense contemplation. Identity destabilization. At level 2, people often feel like they are losing themselves. Weight loss happens here. Weight gain happens here. Sleep breaks here. Work performance suffers here. Motivation collapses here. Level 2 empaths consume the most content about narcissistic abuse. They ask the most questions. They book the most one-on-one sessions. Why did they do this? Why did they move on so fast? Why was I treated this way? What was real? What wasn't? They may intellectually understand that no contact is necessary at this point, but understanding something cognitively and being able to embody it emotionally are very different things. They may still respond to hoovers. They may still react emotionally, even while knowing better. Knowledge exists at level 2. Regulation does not yet. Then something shifts. That shift is level 3. Level 3 is where anger finally arrives. Not confusion. Not sadness. Anger. At level 3, the empath understands what happened. They can name the patterns. They know the terminology. They understand gaslighting, triangulation, hoovering, smear campaigns. They are no longer naive, but they are not yet calm. Level 3 is the stage where the empath has decided they are not going back, but they are still emotionally activated. They may go no contact, but inconsistently. They may grey rock, but break it when emotions spike. They know the rules, but sometimes they violate them because anger needs somewhere to go. This is the stage where glow-ups begin, working out, reclaiming identity, setting boundaries. But it's also where pettiness shows up. Checking social media by accident, wanting updates, wanting validation that the narcissist lost something. This is the stage where karma questions dominate. If someone is constantly asking when karma will hit, what will happen to the new supply, or whether the narcissist will regret it, they are almost always at level 3. This does not mean they are failing. It means they are transitioning. At level 3, the narcissist receives less supply than before, but not zero. Anger is still engagement. This is where no contact begins to stick more often than not. This is where self-respect starts winning more battles than it loses. And then, quietly, without ceremony, level 4 arrives. Level 4 is indifference. Level 4 does not announce itself. There is no dramatic moment. One day the empath realizes they haven't checked, haven't wondered, haven't reacted. The emotional charge is gone. No contact is effortless. Grey rock is automatic. Boundaries are reflexive. At level 4, the empath no longer needs updates. They no longer need explanations. They no longer need justice fantasies. The narcissist becomes irrelevant, not because the empath is suppressing emotion, but because the nervous system has completed the threat cycle. This is not bitterness. This is resolution. At level 4, the empath is actively building a new life. Hobbies return. Curiosity returns. Peace becomes familiar. Healing is no longer reactive. It is intentional. And finally, there is level 5. Level 5 is wisdom. At level 5, the experience becomes information, not identity. The empath can speak about narcissism calmly, clearly, without emotional charge. They trust themselves. They recognize red flags early. They do not fear narcissists. They simply see them clearly and choose distance without drama. Level 5 is discernment, and here is the most important truth of all. Everyone starts at level 0. No one skips level 2. Anger at level 3 is not failure. Indifference at level 4 is the goal. Wisdom at level 5 is the gift. So the real question isn't where you started. The real question is where you are now, and what one step you can take toward the next level. If this resonated, follow the Narc op. For a one-on-one session, email the narcop@gmail.com.